Good morning,
Good
everyone.
morning. Good
Welcome
morning.
to FYI. For your information, I am Gerard
Happy
Finance
Tuesday.
alongside Sherrod Duncan
Sherrod.
this morning.
Happy
Joining you.
Tuesday.
It is Tuesday,
Happy
5th.
Tuesday,
Tuesday,
guys.
the 5th of July,
Already.
2022.
Already.
Guys, you see how
It's
far
half
along
month
we
already.
are,
It's
right?
half month. You know?
Half month.
It's half.
It's past half year
You
for
know,
sure.
it's gone. It's gone. It's gone already. I see the president there coming on to Christmas.
It is, and then it's
Coming on to
a whole
Christmas.
lot of rain
It's
and all.
beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Every time I hear Christmas, I hear expense. I'm a mother. I'm sorry.
Me too.
So, I just hear expense.
And we're gonna decorate, and we're gonna.
Oh yes, do everything.
have a
Change
nice
the
time.
curtains and all of
Yes,
those
we're gonna
things.
change the curtain.
What is that about?
We're gonna change the
I don't
curtains to
I don't like
beige.
it. Yeah. So,
We're gonna change it to
guys,
beige.
how have you been?
How y'all doing? How
What's
y'all
going
doing?
on? What is going
Yeah,
on?
Clear Alexis Chamley Richmond is here. Good morning. Beatrice Selby, Jason Aaron is here. Carlton Beverly. I see Shirley Crichton. Guys, thanks for spending the morning with us. I was looking forward to some company. The night wasn't kind to me. Just let me put it that way.
The night wasn't kind.
The
to
night
you?
wasn't kind to me.
I had a lovely
So
night.
I was looking forward.
just
I'm
woke
happy
up
for
feeling a
you.
little.
Go ahead and be great for both of us.
So, I was not
Go
gonna
ahead.
I
Go
had
ahead.
a busy weekend, a busy weekend.
I had a good weekend, but last night I took a turn.
I took a tour.
Like the weather took a turn. Took a detour. We were going good. Yep.
And then comes last night.
I took a turn.
I think you were looking at the news or something.
That too.
When you look at the news, it's
That too.
to take a turn
I was in
with
Buxton
everything.
yesterday. Where were you?
I know. We all
I was
know.
in Buxton. You see, some of y'all, I tell y'all something.
Tell them.
All these boots on the ground nonsense. Right? Y'all boots and touching ground, some of y'all. Those that know the will of the Lord and does it not. Those that know, I'm looking at something about that. Those that know the will, singular will, and do it not, does it not. You know what I want to say? You shall be beaten with many stripes. I ain't seen some of you on the ground, folks, but the protest this morning continues.
Call them out by name, don't worry.
The Sugate protest continues this morning. Obviously, the president. Right. So you guys have another chance.
Yeah.
You guys have another chance. I ain't want to see nobody on social media telling me what boots on the ground. Right?
Especially if they're hearing
when you see me at the protest, right? Like I was yesterday, like I was last week, right? Touch me and say my boots on the ground, Sherrod. My boots on the ground. Then
I think we had I can't remember her name. She was there yesterday.
Who was it? Lane,
yes,
Rhonda. Rhonda don't miss nothing.
Boots on the ground, Rhonda was
boots
not
on the
missing
ground.
it, right?
Rhonda was lit yesterday.
So I saw the comment section was saying that finally put a face to this voice.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Rhonda's out there so much. I run into Rhonda at the protest every so often. I run into Rhonda at when there was a protest for Ben outside the credit union.
Yes.
Rhonda's always there in the forefront. But some of you don't know your right to tell people put their boots on the ground. And you far from the struggle.
Shall be beaten with many stripes.
Who?
Marlon.
Marlon
Lorma. She said you're correct.
Yes, many stripes. And I can do some of the beating myself, so I know many stripes. Many stripes.
Lynn Finance. Hey Lynn, how are you doing?
You know who I saw yesterday? There were another one of our viewers or ardent viewers. What's her name again? Durant. Emily Durant was on the ground with
boots on the ground.
with Rhonda. You see the movie Pax,
Okay.
Team FYI and Ringsiders, the different. The movie Pax, coming for you. It's like cheetahs. It's all pack of them is like lions.
So they can say boots on the ground.
Yeah, they can say boots on the ground. But I ain't see Alia yet. I ain't see Alia. Rock can come in. Must come and touch me.
Yes.
You understand me? You see that? Elizabeth says, I like Rhonda, always a warrior for a good cause. Yes. Right? So if I turn right now, I bump into Rhonda. Rhonda was on the ground, boots on the ground. That's what you gotta be. A lot of people be still on social media. A woman abused me yesterday. It hurt me what she said.
Oh wow.
It hurt me. She said, Sharon, you got thousands on social media. What did I know? Right? I said, well, at least some of them, thank God Rhonda show up. We all there. We all there. You gotta come out and you gotta support, You gotta come out and you gotta support. If everybody afraid, what gonna happen?
Yeah.
Right? Politics is about numbers. You gotta come out. And you know what touched me about Rhonda? Let me make pelt some here this morning. Let me make Rhonda take a leak. Pelt here this morning. Let me make Rhonda fan of the week. Rhonda came from Denham still.
Oh, wow.
Till to Buxton. Some of y'all living right around the car now. Y'all wicked. Right on the East Coast, some of y'all living. Right? Shirley says, Shirley correct. And slippers on the ground. Where about your foot? You understand me? Till then Amstel. A man told us he's from New Amsterdam. People came to support. You got to do that. You got to do that. Wherever the struggle is, folks. A Luther continue. The struggle continues.
Yep.
Right? But quite a number of persons came out. I was very heartened by the turnout. No doubt, 90% of them were our folks, our supporters and fans and so on. But the woman say, 4,000 odd people watch every night. Where are they now? Right? But I have to admit, 4,000 y'all can't be the diaspora alone. Some of y'all right here, some of y'all living in the neighboring village. We all went.
Guyana Birds is like
right?
a new one, a neutral.
Yes. You see, Guyana Bird is a bird. That's why you see the conversation. It's a bird conversation. Right? What is missing from Guyana Bird in the middle there? Jumpy Bird. It's Guyana Jumpy Bird. That's a jumpy bird, but that. No, if you wake up in the morning and like Ali, you thinking about the bell ground, you thinking about some untoward things, you got some issues. You got some issues.
Listen, I was
right? Many happy returns, Guyana Bird.
I came.
Many happy
I
returns.
Came on this morning. I was good, pure thoughts in my head and everything. And there
Claudette Bubble says, kudos to Rhonda. Rhonda wasn't tired, Rhonda come from Dead Amstel. And like Rhonda just roll out your bed, fired up, ready to go. Yeah. You understand me? Pace and power.
What was Rhonda eating?
Hey, man. On the live yesterday with Rhonda. Rhonda said, sure, I got a thing for you.
yes, I noted that. I got a thing for you. I got a thing for you. Rhonda was different. Rhonda comes a little different.
Rhonda's Rhonda, And I'm happy for people like that. People like, as Elizabeth says, dedicated to the struggle. Elizabeth Narain, Spartanburg, good to see you. Yeah. Rawl and all the other folks. Rawl, Andre Hamilton watching us from Queen.
But it's quite amazing to see.
It is.
Actually meet the folks that are here. You guys in the comment section. It's also lovely when you meet you guys on the ground up in person, because I know even at Starbuck Market when I had to speak recently when I came down, some folks came over to me and says, "God, this is the first time I'm meeting you in person," and so forth. Yeah. And it was a good feeling to be able to connect with the people that are always joining these streams.
And yesterday, maybe they came for the protest. I met some folks who came in from the US. Yeah. So welcome home, all of you who are visiting. Welcome home. Met some folks from the US, from Queens, from the South, and so forth on the protest line yesterday. And that was so nice to see people take some time and to come. I see some people passing in the car and they're tooting the horn and so on. I mean, stop for 5 minutes. You might be in a hurry. 5 minutes can't set you back for the rest of your life. Right? Stop and lend your presence. Stop for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Hold a placard.
I think you had said it once, and then I think so we saw it repeated in Kaishore News. When the whole ideology with folks just saying, "Oh, well, this is not at my door," So you pass it by, and it's not at my door. You pass it by, and it goes on and on. When it gets to your door, there's no one left to stand up with.
Nobody.
Right? So we have to stand up together before there's no one left to stand with us when issues do meet at our door.
So I say I can come and hot y'all up early Tuesday morning.
Some light hot,
Early Tuesday morning.
You're being nice.
Stop this boots on the ground.
Tonight you can do it better.
Stop sending people to the front line and you at the back. Right? You at the back. Stop that. Right? Stop that. Or do something meaningful. Right? Do something meaningful. Find a way in which you can contribute meaningfully to what is happening.
And I think, on that point, I think that I've noted a lot of constructive comments coming in over and over. Guys, I encourage you to write in newspapers, sending a letter.
All of that.
And so forth.
All of that.
You know what is going on. You know the issues affecting you and so forth. It's so easy. And I think that some of the things that we need to encourage our persons to write so that we can see what is going on.
Yeah. Again, stop sending people to the front. Stop sending people to the front and you at the back. A woman called me a little while ago and she was very upset. "Oh, what y'all doing? What y'all there? This, that, that." And she going on. A lot of us send people to the front, we there quite secure where we are. And I just asked her, I said, you have kids? She said, yes. She got big kids. I said, where are they? You know, I got a boy and a girl and the overseas. I said, let's write to them congressmen and so on. Right? She said, I beg my knee, my this, my that. Fair enough. But what else you could do for this struggle?
Yeah. But I had to
Right?
hold my mother back like 2 times from going on a one woman protest.
I said they could drive. They could write to Congress, people in the U.S., to Hakeem Jeff, write straight to the White House. Then post the letter on social media. Everybody want to know, oh, boots on the ground, boots on the ground. But when you boots high up, you know, wash clean in their home. You know, people don't necessarily like the out front all the time. Every time you go to front, is a calculated risk you're taking. Every single time you go out front. You know, we are probably more brave than anybody else, but we have to do what must be done. Yeah. And that is hold this government accountable for the stupidness that they're doing.
Yeah, and I think some of the things that I think that we need to see a lot of protest action gear too, because I was even thinking about it, is the fact that we have so much being said about the minimum wage and all of those things. You know,
yeah,
everyone needs to lend their voices and basically have their presence felt.
Yeah.
When it comes to those particular matters also. So
yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
Being.
All right. So, Trina, we got a lot to cover this morning. And we're so happy that all of you guys are with us. So happy. Excuse us for a second.
Yeah, I'm seeing, I must say that you guys have been doing a good job when it comes to sharing the information. I encourage you to continue to share the information so that everyone is informed.
Yes, please do that.
Like Sharon is rightly saying, you know, we also need to, as much as possible, have our presence felt. We need to do that also.
Yeah, I'm a little upset this morning, and I'm gonna vent.
And Sharon is venting, you know. Damn right. And he has right. Vent. I don't think that there was a protest that Sharon missed ever, right?
No, I never see a protest I like.
You never saw a protest.
Sometimes I end up in the wrong protest and I want to say. You know.
But a protest generally, you know, people have the right to protest, and I think that's one of the things I saw. I saw a lot of debate online when it comes to protests and all of that. But people have the right to protest. Well, not have the right to protest alone per se, but have the right to peaceful protest.
Yeah.
To have the right to peaceful protest, and that is something that everyone needs to understand. You're not being defiant in any way or so forth when you go out and peacefully protest.
And so what if you're defiant? You know, civil disobedience. You're gonna be defiant.
But you're not.
Yeah,
protest.
I understand that.
You're protecting. Yeah. It's a right of yours to go out and peacefully protest. It's a right.
Yeah.
You know.
So there is that, you know, and I want to say very seriously, you know, over the last couple of days, you know, we told you guys very honestly that we were in the red where our monthly responsibilities are concerned, and it gets harder and harder to do this kind of work because you take on more and more. We just take on more and more. And so we made the appeal that more persons give, right? What we do here is all part of the struggle. Getting credible and valid information out there. The very first thing people do, you know, when they're conquering countries, they shut off communication.
Yeah.
Because if you can't communicate, you can't coordinate efforts.
And we saw that even with the war between Russia and Ukraine.
That's one of the first things they do. They knock out communication. They take over.
Elon Musk was sending over SpaceX
precisely.
to provide connectivity.
Precisely. Yeah. Now imagine, as we were a couple months ago, November coming. We're in July, September, October, November. It's 2 years since we're doing this. We don't have access to NCN.
Yeah.
We don't have access to DPI. We don't have access, and even those private news media, they choose whatever message they want to carry. And so we have had to develop these forums like FYI, like Below the Belt, like In the Ring, like our website, Credible Sources, to continuously put out information out there, you know, that tells our narratives. And there's an African proverb that says, until the lions have their own historians, the hunt will always glorify the hunter. And that's what we have here. Now, It costs us something. I will be so happy because I see so many people comment, you are begging for money, flap you. If you can do it for free, right? You start it. Do 17 programs a week and see if you can do it for free, right? But because of the nature of what we do.
I think what's important to understand is that a lot of people, especially the trolls that come on to say things like that, they're accustomed to their representatives stealing taxpayers' dollars so that they can go on and do their work.
Correct. You give big contracts, you get big kickbacks, and you can manage yourself.
It's strange to them that public funding is something. It is strange, but in the developed world, even in the United States,
which is what I'm coming around to. This is exactly how it is done. People raise money from the public to do political work, to do work like this. And so you think I am ashamed when people say you're begging for money? Right? But if you know a better way, tell us. Right? If you know banks that will give us loan to do what we do and to build this thing out and to build it bigger.
We're not going to steal.
Right? You tell us. But I don't have shame, really and truly. I passed the stage a long time ago where shame is concerned. You think you could say something to shame me, but you think again. But we got to call on each other to help. Everybody want to be militant. Everybody want to be vigilant. Everybody's a political analyst. But the ground is where the work is. And when we come off and we turn off these lights, we got to go on the ground like everybody else and make our presence felt in communities on the protest line. And I'm asking you guys to make a commitment to help us. Help us here to keep this going. Right? Make a commitment that every month I could send $5 US, or I could give $1,000 Ghana. Right? It adds up over time. GT&T don't give us the internet free. GPL don't give us the light free. Right? The studio people don't give us the space free. Contrary to common knowledge, it takes this. I could put my whole parliamentary salary, right, and forsake my family and parliamentary work to this, and it still would not be enough to do it, because that is how I ended up doing it, asking for help in the first place, because all of my parliamentary salary got sucked into doing this. For 9-10 months, I did it for free.
Correct.
Until I could carry it no longer. It was getting bigger than me. And you needed more, you wanted to do it better sound, better lighting, to conduct yourself a certain way that is befitting of you, the people we represent. Yeah. And it costs something. And so again, I'm making the appeal, right, to each and every one of you individually. The woman was right yesterday. These numbers that we track, they have to do something more than just coming to view the program. You come and view, you don't support in any way, with your presence on the protest line, with your finances, with your time, with your what have you. This is a struggle, and all of us are part of it, right? If you don't like what's happening in this regime, and I wish some of you would ask, how can I help? It might not be finances, but you might have a skill, right? You might have a know-how that we can use in some way, and you can be helpful to us. So please, let us be more involved. Right? Lots of time I hear, where are the parliamentarians? Well, you could sit down 10,000 miles away and ask where the parliamentarians are. This country is a big place, and we got to fight on so many fronts. Yeah. Some of us, you would never see us to front like this. But let me speak up for my colleagues. That don't mean they're fighting. Yeah. Some part of this country, in some far-flung area, we ain't getting light and water and the internet and all this, but they're still out there fighting. Yeah. That don't mean they're doing anything less. I'm privileged that I get to be out front in this way. I get to see both ends of it. Right? But that doesn't say the people aren't working. But what are the others doing? Right? People have been calling, and that is what it don't irk me. But I say, if I have a chance for us to talk like this, because people have been calling, will it protest? Shut down the country. Is Jurita and I alone going to do it? Right? You could take a street, but how long are you going to hold it? Right? You could take the whole East Coast, block off every street, but that's the easy part. How long are you going to hold it? So we can't do it alone. All of us are needed. All of us are needed. All of us. Right? So maybe, besides saying, oh, boots on the ground, but you boots on the ground, you could ask, what a role I could play. You might be boots on the ground physically, but what a role you could play.
Shared this vented this morning, and rightly so, about all that's happening. So we encourage you guys. You know what you have to do. Like I just mentioned some of the things that I know some of you are very very keen on what is going on, and so you're excellent writers and all of that. So make sure you do your part in writing and documenting every single day what is going on in your communities and all of that. We'll be very very
Yeah.
happy if to receive articles from you guys as well. Just send it through. Let us look at what is going on from your standpoint. Those are very real things, and it's very necessary to have stories shared as to the plight of people on the
Yeah.
ground in this country right now. So you know the stories, you know, you document it, you send it in, and we'll be happy to share all of that.
More than happy.
So,
More than
yeah.
happy. So I vented for about 20 minutes.
So this is the first time, right? So there's the he's
Vented for
allowed
about 20
he
minutes,
is
you
allowed
know.
to vent for
Right?
20 minutes.
Barbara Vaughn,
From
thank
one
you very much.
venting to the next,
Thank you.
blackout.
Thank you, Barbara. Huh? Yeah. Yeah. I see Barbara said she sent a contribution on Zelle.
Okay.
Thanks, Barbara.
Yeah.
Folks, we have all of these platforms, and it's just for your convenience, right? You know, we are not in the US. Somebody has to help us to do Zelle. And we want to thank those folks who do that, right? Because some of these apps only work in the US, right? We're not in the US. We don't manage, we can't manage Cash App from this. And
Yeah.
somebody steps in to do that, right? That's boots on the ground too for us.
Yeah. A lot of
Right?
a lot of persons
Helping us.
volunteer their time and efforts towards these things.
Right? Helping us. And that's the way, you know, Judy could tell you, got people at the back helping us to do research to make sure that when we come out front, we ain't singing too stupid again, right? And that them boys ain't got for lash free every time and say, oh, misinformation, false information. They never had a chance to do that. In almost 2 years we out here.
Never once had they had the
Right.
opportunity to come and say we give misinformation.
Yeah.
Never once.
All of the
because they never
graphics
did.
you see, somebody helping us behind the scenes with that. The technical work, ensuring the mics, you know, plug in right, the audio sounds a certain way. And we continue to say, and you should know we've been good stewards. You know, the more we get is the more we try to do. I could have been contented, we could have been contented just doing indirect, but we realize in the morning people want additional information. You know, in the midday people want additional information. That's what we've been trying to do, you know, just to be helpful. That's our contribution to the struggle. Right? From this, I don't earn a salary. We don't earn a salary from this. Right? It's a labor of love, and we invite more of you to come and help us. Like Barbara says, I give, you know, some money on Zelle. Maybe that's all you can do from thousands of miles away. Perhaps that's your boots on the ground. Your resources are better than ours. It adds up. $5 beating $5, beating another $5 adds up. And whoever say begging flop you, right? You don't rice me, I don't bring me plate by you. So why are you concerned? What's happening over here? Right? And sometimes it's the sheer silliness. Because as Sharita said earlier, this is what people in the US do. You have to raise money for political work.
Yeah.
As
You
a matter of
can't
fact,
take it out of-
raising money,
and it's not supposed to be
is
taken
a
out of
measure.
the government coffers as well. So even
Yeah.
persons in office
Yeah.
should be out there raising money.
Correct.
But that's what I'm saying is we live in a country where corruption has been for so many years that
Yeah.
people believe it's strange for persons to raise funds through by the public contributions like that, because they're so used to the corruption breeding and the way in which
Yeah.
political organizations went for. The people had run this country for over 23 years. Now they're back in office again. So persons are conditioned to that mindset that,
Yeah.
that it could be done in a corrupt manner.
We got to raise it.
Yeah,
we got to
we
raise
have
it.
to change
We
the
got to raise
mindset
it.
of people as
We
well.
got to raise
you
it.
know?
And I'm
That's not
happy
the
that
way.
each and every one of you help us, because I told you the other day, one of the things we heard in the early is that we here and we are doing, we in see, we don't hear that now. And I think it's credit to all of us, you know,
true,
putting
very
our shoulder to the wheel. Is us at this end, is Kadaki, Amsterdam at his end, is Mark Benschkap at his end, is Rickford Burke at his end, Bradford Burke, Randy, Critchlow, you know, and all the other folks who are out here trying to make a
David
difference
Hines,
and trying.
yeah.
David Hines, Politics 101, privileged to have had David Hines and Kadaki on Friday's program. All of us trying to, do our combined efforts in this way, getting you guys credible and valid information, and we need your support. Simple as that.
Simple.
Yep. But
Simple as that.
last happening on the international front. Let's get to some of that. Let's get
Well-
to some of the reason why we're really here. Besides begging for money card to them boys.
According to them, boy.
But here's what's happening internationally. And I think I think we have seen. I think we have seen. I think we have seen too much of this, Rita. Another shooting, another mass shooting in Chicago's Highland Park. They
Yeah,
tell us
but you know, yesterday when I was looking at that, it's very sad,
very much so.
and it has become something that I think the persons are so afraid right now when it comes to any gathering in the U.S. for them to actually step out, because like once there's a gathering of a large amount of persons, and people you're at a very high risk of having these things happen. So it's very sad. You know, six lives lost altogether. Someone literally on the rooftop shooting at people.
Yeah,
Like to
yeah,
what end? You know, to what end?
yeah. People just different.
Where
People
is the
just
world
different.
going right now?
People just different. 6 persons lost their lives there, and of course, our thoughts and prayers. You know, we got our own problems here, and I'm so thankful being along this road yet. But you know, I feel like we're right there in a little bit. You know, because we heard some things last week that shock us. You know, when your friends say one Guyana, we say, well, we ain't got racism anymore. You know, but mouth open story jump out last week.
Yeah. And I have to say that I've been also following when it comes to the platform, you know, TikTok and so, and I saw a lot, and I have to commend. I saw a lot of East Indians actually coming forward and giving their statement to say this is nonsense. You know, we
Yeah,
don't support this.
yeah.
So it's very important that people speak out.
But you know,
And I commend that the fact that some persons are speaking out against that also.
I'm so happy to hear you say that because I was so disappointed that I didn't see one PPP leader.
Yeah.
Point me to a statement by
None.
one PPP leader when where they say Imran's comment don't represent us, Navindra's comment don't represent us. Point me to one statement, and these are people. If I only utter a little word that's wrong, we'll get 50 Facebook posts up, got 50 organizations writing letters to the press to condemn Duncan.
Yeah.
Right? But you had some young men led by Imran Satar last week who said some very heinous things about Afro-Guyanese in this country, and not a word,
Yeah.
you know, from the other leaders in this country.
Crazy, but we have to continue to fight it. I know one particular person that I heard speak about it is a man, and I think he says he's from Unity Village there in Barbados, and he said that, you know, he can't just sit back. He says he doesn't even come on things like TikTok and all of those things. He said, but when he heard that, he had to come on and say something. And this is an Indian man. He was saying that you know, he was raised. He said his stepfather is a black guy, and his stepfather teach him everything he knows. He said, look, he captains a boat. He's a fisherman, and he said his entire crew is black men. They look out for each other all the time. So how can somebody go out there saying things like that? So, of course, since there are a lot of people that was completely disturbed by what was going on there, and I commend the few of them that stepped forward to actually say this it's not the way in which it should happen.
It was a moment for the People's Progressive Party to do the same, right? But
to show leadership,
then step up.
to show leadership.
Then step up. Irfan Ali ran to Facebook the other morning, very quick. He came to some conclusions based on conjecture, and retreated with the same speed after the final. They had a lot of things there to go on. And here's a moment the leader of this nation could speak to race, right? One Guyana is more than being photographed cooking a pot of cook-up. It's more than that. But when you have a moment to really address one Guyana, you fail miserably. What are you going to tell us, right? You roll into Buxton claiming you want to help people, but look what it took. Look what it takes for you to come. Your role, you got to be dragged and pulled and pushed. We come into that in a second. So again, our thoughts and prayers go to all of these folks, you know, in Highland Park in Chicago, who would have been, you know, either victims of this, family members and so on. The shock and horror, I'm certain, you know, an Independence Day parade gone wild, basically. Gone wild. So our thoughts and prayers go out to you guys. Some other stuff we're following on the international scene. You know, this is on the other side of the world, Richard, right up your alley. The Saudis seem to be onto something. The United Arab Emirates, the UAE, also seem to be onto something, Tarita. Well, you know, and these are places that this regime likes to run to They vacation a lot now in Dubai and so on. But look what the folks here are doing. They must be onto something. They are boosting spending to shield citizens from inflation.
Well,
they're looking after the citizens. Madam Economist, talk to us.
well, what they're doing, and it's very interesting, what the UAE is doing right now. And you would know that, well, folks should know that the UAE, these countries are more so oil-rich countries, and the persons had actually checked because of their structure and their very defined plan. They were able to move forward from the desert land at one point to massive cities there. So very, very interesting the way in which they deal with economic policies and so forth. But also, I know this particular matter is one that is one that's very interested, and says that UAE is doubling the financial support it provides to low-income Emirati
I hear that. I hear that.
Low income, they are doubling the financial support. But one of the things that I think was interesting.
Low income businesses or private sector?
Low income
citizens,
families,
wow.
Low income families.
That sounds foreign to me.
But one of the things that was interesting is that Kingdom will reopen registration for the program known as a Citizens Account and allocate 8 billion reals in additional funding for it to the end of the year. And
this is direct transfer. It sounds like a direct transfer
to
me.
Yeah, and they're making sure that they do their part to cushion the effect altogether. But when it comes to the low-income families, I wanted to give people some idea as to how they deal with it, and I did my own bit of research on that front. And it says that for the UAE, because guys, you would know that we've been speaking about the fact that only recently the whole minimum wage and so forth was put for private sector workers at $60,000 in Guyana. And it says for the UAE nationals, when it comes to minimum wage, because when you talk about minimum wage, the low income owners and so forth, it says the minimum wage is not something that is done across the board. There's no across the board minimum wage, but the minimum wage is actually determined based on your level of education. Right, and it says that
so Kwame them get like very low.
So if you have persons living in the UAE, United Arab Emirates, those persons with no high school certificates, they get 3,000 AED, which is equivalent to 171,000 Guyana dollars. This is if you have absolutely no high school certificate. This is their minimum wage scale. If you have a high school certificate, you're getting 228,000 Guyana dollars. And if you have a college or higher, this is the minimum wage for these persons.
When
you are getting 285,000 Guyana dollars. And I wanted to just push that in there because that is the scale they're looking at when they're looking at and this is minimum wage. This is not just low income. This is minimum. This is bottom. And they're saying for their low-income families, they're going to be doubling the support altogether for them to cushion against inflation, especially when it comes to the inflation and the cost of food items.
Wow. Yeah. The people onto something. People onto something, and we thought we should share it with you because there is more that can be done,
Yeah, so when persons, I think one of the takeaways that, a lot of trips being made to the UAE and so forth, but these policies, as it pertains to benefiting the people, are not the policies that all the current administration seems to be coming away with. And every trip that they make seems to be more geared at looking at some sort of business arrangement so that the little cabal at the top will be benefiting from, as opposed to taking policy directives and some best practices when it comes to what can benefit the people of the country more. So, there's a lot to learn from so many countries and all of that. But if they only go with an intent to benefit themselves and their friends, then policies as the one we're seeing right here would be something that evades them altogether. So definitely something that needs to be looked at when it comes to any aspect that is going to cushion the effects of inflation in the country and make sure that the low income or earning families are very well protected. I mean, that's a government that cares. And as we see, we always say that the current administration, PP administration in Guyana here, they're only looking at policy directives that is going to benefit the few at the top, And I have to mention, if you allow me to do that at this time, as an example, As an example, there was an article put out on credible sources, an affiliate source, and speaking to the fact that the PPP squeezed 30% more tax out of workers in 2022. 30% more tax. Guys, you would have seen this article. It's over 100 shares already, so I know persons are reading it. Over 30% more tax squeeze. So this is the workers. This is those pay as you earn, and so forth. That is up by 30%. And guess what's done? And persons need to understand the relationship. And then it's no different than today. Guyana Chronicles is reporting that the returns from VAT and excise tax declined by 10.2%. And we've been saying this consistently. We've been saying when the benefits that they're giving it there to the business people. But they're saying that VAT is the VAT and excise tax, the returns declined by 10.2%. But what they're not saying is that the workers, their tax increased by 30%. How do you do that? How do you live with yourself as a government when you are literally putting benefits over to the private sector? And we have no issue with that, but it cannot be on the backs of the public servants. You cannot be on the backs of the workers. No, it can't be.
Credible and valid. So let's turn our attention to talking about some of these policies. We talk about what's happening with the low income folks in the UAE and in Saudi Arabia. Why don't we talk about what's happening with the low income folks in this country? Well, before we get there, while we're still on the regional issues and international issues, we saw the new Prime Minister of Grenada, being introduced to his regional counterparts now, and he told them in no uncertain terms, this thing can be a talk shop. Right? CARICOM, the heads of government, they're meeting in Suriname, I think at the moment. And he told them point blank, he said, this thing can be a talk then. But I a little thing with you gotta watch the proximity with Ralph Gonzalez and them. Right?
Ralphie's on his way out.
Right? He ain't gone yet. Jack, you're going to write book and going out to pasture and fish and so on. But plant farm. So
and here we are.
Here we are. So the young Mr. Mitchell, Prime Minister Mitchell there of Grenada, the other Mitchell, is quite it's getting his feet wet in regional politics, regional affairs. And that being said, folks, we have learned that the other Mitchell, Dr. Keith Mitchell, who was Prime Minister, he has now been sworn in as the leader of the opposition there in Grenada. And again, folks are asking, like, Doc, how much longer? Right? Your boy Ralph on the way out, when are you going? Right? Grenadians have never known a time when, like, Dr. Keith Mitchell wasn't either Prime Minister or opposition leader. Right? Like, how much is too much?
I have to say that when I have seen there is a tide there's a tide, a rising tide.
There's a tide in the affairs of men.
When it comes to persons and countries and citizens of countries being more gravitating more to more innovative younger leadership with fresh ideas, as opposed to a lot of the older folks with ideas that seems to be stuck back in the 1960s and all of that. So a lot to be learned even here in Guyana as we move forward on our own accord to make sure that that innovation and innovative thinking is encouraged throughout, and once persons are on that boat, I think a lot can be done and a lot of good will come out of that altogether.
Very much so. Locally, folks, y'all know what we're following. We're following the Quindon Bacchus case, and the police complaint authorities, they have recommended that 3 cops be charged. But we're hearing that one of them, who should be charged as well, has not been charged. One of the policemen, all right, the name is slipping me right now. I know you guys are sharp on there. Something Passad is his name. Let us know. They say he is the one who was with Christophe when Quindon Bacchus met his untimely demise. So brutally at the hands of the Guyana police force. So again, not only has this been done, that the police complaint authority has recommended these charges, but the DPP also has gone ahead and has instituted those charges, and we learned that yesterday as well. Well, the folks said, they want a little more than that because, of course, locally that a charge is not a proven offense, right? And Nigel Hughes often cautions us that don't worry, confessions and so on. I mean, nothing in this country here. Confessions, and don't get excited yet. When you see conviction, right? And even that is still something to appeal on, but conviction is a good place to say yes. Justice has been done. Charges being laid and so on. Y'all never see charges drop in this country. No questions asked, no reasons given. Y'all never see that. So charges being instituted is not something to get excited over. But again, they said a policeman is escaping justice here. Sunil Prasad is the name we see. And the allegation is being made that Sunil was part and parcel of this thing that transpired in Golden Grove there.
And I saw,
well, not Golden Grove, the community which
I saw a lot circulating online as it pertains to that.
Definitely.
Yeah. So very strong allegations, and we know
that's the name we see.
Needs to be dealt with very keenly, and persons are going to stand up and they're going to say and they're going to demand justice, as we see them do every single day right now.
Yep. And again, I want to say a word for, as you said, was it lawful protesting? Is that the word? That's the phrase you use? Peaceful protesting. There's a word to be said for protesting, because had not those people been out there protesting and pushing, we would not have gotten this far.
Nothing would have happened.
We would not have gotten this far. Your boy would have been under close arrest, open the restaurant sideways, arrest, and then that would be the end of it. But the people spoke, and it caused a lot of tremors in the corridors of power. And now you're seeing some movement. You see what real boots on the ground achieves, right? So all of this is part and parcel of that. And we're learning this morning, to our viewers, listeners, that a sergeant also, who's part of the two who are going to be charged, along with Christoph, he, in the course of attempting to obstruct justice, we're being told, attempting to obstruct justice, he was recently promoted. And I wish you can read some of the text for us from that, because the police force says they're going to try to remedy it. That's what the police force is telling us. They said they're going to try to remedy it, but a lot of eyebrows are being raised, because he was promoted on Sunday when the list was proffered, and by Monday they're telling us they're telling us that he has been, he's going to be charged with attempting to obstruct the course of justice. Right? We told you got all kind of people in Ghana police force. We told you guys that you got some good people, and then you got some folks, who got some untoward motives.
But I saw that photo,
right?
University graduate there.
Yeah.
And we have to, young men out there, especially folks in the police force and the GDF, and so you're there, your family depending on you to walk the straight and narrow.
Yeah.
People are proud of you when you go to university and you graduate and all of those things.
Yeah.
You have to be very careful with your actions and who you associate yourself with and so forth, so that
Correct.
you're not in that position as that young man is. No proud moment for his family there to see his photo being placed all over there and to be associated with such.
Correct.
Such
I see Wesley Ward says, what a travesty.
Yeah.
Pick up the statement for us, Rita, from the administration of Ghana Police Forces, cognizant, because I don't understand what's happening here.
I see it says here that the administration of Guyana Police Force is cognizant that there exists on social media certain insinuations that the force promoted sergeant, and they list his number there, D. McLennan, for inappropriate conduct, right? The force wishes to state categorically that is grossly inaccurate. As they're saying there, according to the Guyana Police Force, the process for promoting members of the organization involves a vetting process that addresses matters contained in personal files and investigations that clearly shows that members who is a subject of vetting for promotion may be implicated in the perpetration of a serious crime or egregious discipline conduct, right? So they're saying that they're counter to say that, so they vet all the folks.
But I guess that even needs some clarification, because what I couldn't get is that whether you're saying that promotion, you can promote someone even if they're being investigated or you know, there was a charge hanging over them.
Yeah, it has a bit of ambiguity there. And
Yeah,
whenever
you
there's
know,
any ambiguous statement, I tend to worry.
because I can't see a man who is being charged and investigating for obstructing the course of justice is promoted.
Yeah.
And you were saying, because I think the argument is being made that somebody can be promoted in spite, right? I can see promotion being held back until it's cleared up.
It says a circumstance relating to the Sergeant McLennan did not initially reveal that he might be implicated in the perpetration of any crime or of misconduct due to the operation at the East Coast Demerara that resulted in the unfortunate death. Further, there was not anything incriminating in his personal file to affect consideration for promotion. Further, the vetting process and subsequent promotion were concluded before the legal advice from the DPP received on July 4th.
Yeah, but the fact he was being investigated, plain and simple. The legal advice might not have been proffered, but to God, he was on investigation at the point when you were considering him for promotion. So I don't understand what they say, right? But again, it goes in keeping with what has been transpiring in the Guyana Police Force of recent, because the last Police Service Commission did an investigation of some of the ranks of the Guyana Police Force. There was sexual misconduct. One of them was found guilty of, right? I think he was found, well, he was on an investigation nonetheless, and he took them to court, thinking that, you know, his promotion shouldn't be blocked or hindered in any way, even though, you know, the PSC found substance there. And he did come on to the young lady and all kinds of foolishness. So this is not strange. I can't fathom. Maybe it's me. You're on investigation for something as serious as that. On investigation period. And being promoted in the same time. I can't see it hindering your promotion in the sense that is innocent until proven guilty. But I could see somebody saying, let's put a pause here and come back to it in a couple of days or weeks when we know much more.
Yeah, well, I don't know the system in which they use, and I think that
Right?
that is the issue altogether.
They're using the Chronicle system. The Chronicle system says, you know, Botheration was a good concert. Mayhem aside, you know.
This incident aside,
that's what I'm saying. Thwarting the course of justice aside, he's a good policeman. Yeah. Right?
In the lineup.
Right? Christoph is a good policeman. You know, Quinton Backer, 6 bullets aside, he's a good policeman. Right?
Yeah, we have a long way to go.
That's the Chronicle for you. Botheration was a good concert. Mayhem aside. That was the headline. It was the inverse way, rather. Mayhem aside. Botheration was a good concert.
How does that even spell, you know? How does that even go?
Corruption aside, PP is a good government.
Yep.
Corruption aside, them boys is a good government.
That's crazy.
Them boys is a good government. And we go here next, folks.
Yes.
You know, we go here because all of this now is part and parcel of what's happening on the East Coast there.
That is correct. You know, you see PM and 7 ministers for Buxton Friendship Outreach there. And, you know, one of the first things I want to say is that, you know, the PP administration and all their actions and the reports that you see and all of that, they come out and they're making so many statements as statements per se, but their actions and their words, it's always crafted to depict persons living in Buxton's, you know, in a certain way, you know, as though they are looking for trouble and this and that and all of those nonsense. Yesterday, I looked at some of the recordings they're coming out from that meeting that they had in Buxton. And I think they need to, each and every one of them, including every single last one of your supporters, I think to eat every single word that they spoke in negativity about anybody that's living in Buxton. Because if you are to if you are to analyze the behavior of the people there in Buxton as opposed to those in at their other outreach that they did there in Monrepo, they actually had absolutely no control over folks and what they said to them when they went there to visit Monrepo. There they were in Buxton, the place that they always like to portray persons to be, you know, as though they're some sort of hooligans and so forth living in Buxton. They went there and complete calm, complete calm, the same place, you know. And people need to open their eyes and see that, especially, you know, so many trolls online like to be adding negativity to people because they live in a certain area. It's absolute nonsense. And be here let me I just want to start off by saying that, but one of the things that I want persons to note is what when they're going to other outreaches, what they go with, you know, as opposed to when they went to boxing, what they went with.
Correct.
And I think what they went with the boxing is that this pot violin, you know, you don't get from the second violin. You know, a lot of things we got to fix, but it coming.
Yep. Which sets to me, you know, we were talking about the UAE and Saudi Arabia and the fact of what they're doing with the low income folks, right? But for our low income folks, especially in boxing, them boys carry a tractor and a basketball net.
Yeah. Like what nonsense is that?
They carry a little tractor for the field and a basketball net.
And more,
you know,
more and a hoop. Yeah.
Boxing would have gotten more out of the government at some maybe if the market was some tables to turn over.
No, they would not have gotten.
You know, some tables in the market in boxing to turn over. No, maybe they would have gotten more. We might get compensation, 300,000.
They would not have gotten compensation.
1.5, 2 million. They would
not have gotten anything. Nope, they would not have gotten it. Where is the outreach that's going?
So you're saying that they couldn't do better than the tractor and the thing?
I'm saying that they didn't because they didn't want to. I'm saying that they didn't because they didn't want to. I also want to say that where is the setup there? Where is the tent that goes to boxing? You know, to aid in the small businesses with the $250,000 grant. I didn't see that going there yesterday. Did you see that? Did you see any issuance of that? I noted a woman that she spoke about land and so forth. They didn't say that they've been doing what they've been doing at so many other areas. They didn't say that, oh, well, let us look into this and so forth. They said, you know, when we got into office, we made so many backed up things. Right now, we have more backed up. And so basically, we can't, I know we can't meet 80 something thousand persons to talk to them. And so, but we're doing the work, you know. Go with the
but that doesn't help. That doesn't stop them in other places.
That is my point. Right? That is my point. Then you have to compare and contrast as to the way in which they deal with things. You know, there's so many other areas that they went to that each person took some issues to them and they dealt with it.
Yeah, but we ain't gonna go far.
They didn't deal with excuses.
We ain't gonna go far.
Issue excuses.
Let me go down the road because they went to Monrepo. The very afternoon, money started churning out. So.
Well, yes, before midnight, persons got money in an envelope. Yeah. You know, that's what happened there. That is what happened there. You know, and there's major contrast in the way in which they operated. And listen, you do not go to a community and you go in there with 9. I think it was like 8 or 9 ministers going in there. And just what to feed.
Which is the question? Which is the question? Can you take that to the supermarket and say, "Oh, nine ministers came, boy. I'm gonna take a pound of sugar or a bag of tennis show. 9 ministers came."
Guys, we have to be.
Tell us, oh, we got some blockage.
And you know, Sharon, this is a pity you don't have that on you right now to pull up with what they have been doing with other communities. You know, they went to Region 2, what they've been doing there. You know, the people want to speak about this. They're just dashing around, and I'm saying dash just like that. They're dashing around a phrase of one Guyana all the time. But their policy measures and their aid and all of those things, it's not balanced at any course.
Correct.
It's not balanced at all, and persons need to call them out for it.
Correct.
If you're not putting balance, especially when it comes to the resources that are being distributed, then you can't go and speak like that.
Because Buxton told them yesterday, we got some roads that needs fixing.
Yeah.
We got some streets.
But that is something that...
Right? Everybody say, you know what, we got things back up a little bit. Hold on. Things back up. Maybe they should ask for cash, grant and money. They already streets and lights and running water and jobs and so on.
They need to take $250 loan there when it comes to business. $250,000 loan. They need to take that there when it comes to small business people and their development altogether. That is what I want to see going into those areas. I want to tell people you can get a lawnmower and a hoop and that making the newspaper and the Chronicle this morning. Come on, man. Come on.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I saw the Chronicle, which is really fallen from grace, in celebration with the headline that says, "Oh, promise made by Ramson fulfilled in hours." I mean, like,
what promise made by Ramson?
I don't know. I know what they were talking about. I don't know if it's in lawnmower and
the fact that he had something sat down there. just catching dust.
Yes.
And he decided to just give it to some folks,
Yeah.
you know.
Thanks to the folks in Golden Grove and along the East Coast, because hadn't what transpired last week, Tuesday, 1 week ago, you know, today, Boxer was still there waiting. Still there waiting for 9 minutes to come. Right? So you see, protest has a real meaningful role in this country.
I've seen less than 9 minutes.
A real meaningful role.
And actually took real decisions to those meetings, as opposed to what I saw yesterday. You know, I have to go through the entire recording, because guys, you know, like I always say that whenever these people go to areas and they do things, I take my time and I go through every single last aspect of it to make sure I don't miss anything. But I'm saying that you can't just continue with a system of promises. It doesn't make sense. You're promising one set of people, but you're delivering to another set.
People in Buxton, they want promises. They want justice to Kingdom Buckets. Plain and simple. Right? They want, as low-income earners, they want to come into the middle class. They want to feel a sense of pride in their community. They want support.
That's what they need more than anything else.
Right? They want better paying jobs. That is what they want. Right? That is what they want. Better paying jobs and all of that. You know, a very, very peaceful process. I know them boys, they want that. And the people is so wicked. They could pick any other day in the year to go in Buxton. This process was announced a few days ago, right? But to cause confusion, to really cause confusion in this country, and that's what they were hoping for. They got in Buxton.
But that's why I started off. That is why I started off by
that's the wickedness of the
what
folks.
I said. That's why I started off by saying what I said, because they would have loved. Let me tell you, they would have loved the situation that they tried to go into Buxton and the people stopped them from going in, and there was chaos and confusion, and this road was blocked off. They would have loved it. They was hoping for it. And probably that's why they didn't carry any real benefits to the people. Probably that's why.
They didn't expect them to share with anything.
They probably thought they would have had to turn back, and then they said, well, we had so much planned. But no, the people went and they sat and they listened.
And we told them to go.
And
go collect the prags. Go and collect the things. It's your money. Taxpayers' money. But then come out with much.
I always tell people to go. There's not one time, guys, you know, you listen to every comment that I make. I always tell people to go out and you question them, you ask them the hard questions and so forth, and see how it goes from there. See if there's any real solution. But they had an idea that they would have not been able to conduct their meetings or so forth. So they didn't have anything real of substance. To offer the people there. But the person sat and they listened very peacefully. There was no one obstructing their path to go there and all of that. And I always say, you know, these are the times when you put it to the test. You see who the people are. Super proud of the actions of the folks in Buxton. Super proud.
Yep, the AC kicking in now, Julie. Excuse me, folks.
I think you need your mints.
I don't know, is that it's just old age?
I think it's the old age.
So lots happening, folks. Lots happening. Which takes us to the big issue this morning. Because the big issue really shows us that these guys aren't prepared for prime time at all. The big issue today is meaningful consultation. Apologies. Meaningful consultation. And for them, it doesn't have a lot of meaning. Folks be battling flu here, battling a whole host of things.
That is correct. But we got to fight through.
We got to fight through. And so we're pepperminting up, vixing down, and taking some mints in the process. A lot of things happening here. Meaningful consultation. There are certain constitutional requirements that Irfan Ali has to fulfill, whether the opposition acknowledge him as legitimate or whether we believe he's installed once you're in the seat. Once you're in the seat, you got to do certain things. You see, they're in the seat, but they don't want to work. They don't want to work, but you got to work. And so this whole notion of meaningful consultation has come into full focus.
Yeah.
And Gail Teixeira, Minister of Governance, wrote to the leader of the opposition stating that Aubrey Norton, the president, Aubrey Norton, it's true. Irfan wants to consult on the appointment of the acting commissioner of police. And that letter was written about 2 days ago. Now, it is mind-boggling for several reasons. It is mind-boggling for several reasons that she would write him. Because a few weeks ago, Irfan Ali appointed Clifton Hickens as the acting commissioner of police. So it's either Irfan still in the cemetery, right, and Basidi, but something is happening there. You appoint Hickens weeks ago, stating that out of necessity for the police force to have a head, right, you appointed Mr. Hickens, but you come back a couple of weeks later and say, I'm ready to consult now to appoint the same man. You can't appoint the man twice.
Yeah, well.
It's bizarre. It's bizarre. It is bizarre. But you know what's happening, Rita?
You want to break it down?
Anil is trying not to lose a court case.
Oh, wow.
Anil is trying not to lose a court case.
I don't
so
think
they're actually trying to correct something before, because Mr. Norton has gone to the court over the appointment of Clifton Hickens, and they know they were wrong.
Correct.
They know that they have been unconstitutional in the appointment of Mr. Hickens. So you appointee, and you come for appointee a second time. You appoint him, and then you come now to appoint him a second time. So, Roy Zilford, on the instruction of the leader of the opposition, has written to Irfan Ali, and they're asking, if you're coming to appoint him now,
what is he now?
Through a consultation, meaningful consultation, that's what the Constitution requires. Meaningful consultation. If you're coming to appoint him a second time, on what legal basis
is he operating?
Did you appoint him the first time, and is he operating now? And if he is not appointed properly, then everything he has done, like promoting people and so on, is brought into question. Y'all see where this country is? Jesus, mercy. These guys want to run a whole government, Rita. And something as simple as the appointment of the police commissioner.
You know, they want to run it as though it's a mafia. The systems that they want is just, they do as they feel pleased whenever they feel pleased, and just carry on like that. And we have to continue to speak up against it. Guys, you know, so many times we come on and we speak about certain things, and it's an educational process altogether. Yeah. A lot of the information and the discussions that we have, it's so edifying to the folks that are listening in. A lot of times I see, you know, trolls, usual suspects would come on and they would question us as oh, well, you don't know what you're talking about. We don't know what we're talking about. And they believe wholeheartedly that if their leadership in the PPP administration do something, that they're doing the correct thing. But then when those actions are challenged at the level of the court and law altogether steps in, then it's dismantled. And at that point in time, they never come on and say, oh, well, we were wrong.
Right? Let's talk about a couple of instances. We had Onij Waldron sat in the National Assembly, stood, put her hands on the Bible, and she said, I'm not a dual citizen.
Yes.
I can be a member of parliament. I can be a minister. And it took the Chief Justice, Roxanne George Wiltshire, to say she was lying.
Yeah.
When she took the oath.
Parliamentary secretaries.
Come in there. When she took the oath, she was lying. She was a dual citizen at that point. They said nothing about that. Right? The parliamentary secretaries, again, challenged in the court. The court says they can be on the list of electors and be appointed outside of you just can't. Right? Again, the comments say, what we know is right. And they went after that. The court says, y'all are wrong on that. And they know they are wrong on how Mr. Hickens was appointed. They know they are wrong. And that's why they come now trying to correct course. Right? Without actually having to say that we were wrong. But if you do it right the first time, why you got to come the second time? The president convinced this nation he had a whole life, not from the battleground. He made it yet, but he go in. He said, out of necessity.
Yeah.
And Anil came and argued the case. You can appoint the commissioner of police.
Yeah. But now when it's being challenged, and I want to make the point again, that their supporters wholeheartedly believe that when they say this can be done, that it can be done. You know, they believe that, and I want, you know, a lot of their supporters join this, but I want you to open your eyes and see that when these matters go before the court and they're challenged there, they never win because they are doing things in a haphazard manner, things that are not, that don't have a legal procedure attached to it. And you need to accept that. You need to understand that they are doing everything in complete chaos, and that is not the way in which a country is run at any point in time. And again, you see the fact that now that appointment is being challenged through the court, they're trying to backpedal. They're trying to go because they know they will lose the case. There's no two ways about it. They will lose the case because when you go to the courts now, it's not a matter of who feel how and who's right here and who is right there based on their whatever action they take based on their emotions or what they believe should be. The law is the law, and it is defined as such, and the law will take full course when it goes there. The courtrooms don't take sides. This is the law. This is what it is. You broke it. End the story.
Full stop.
Come on.
So again, folks, it is mind-boggling, as if I wanted to go and do a live from the cemetery, that they will appoint the commissioner of police on the necessity, but you're coming back now to appoint you a second time and asking for meaningful consultation with the leader of the opposition. So then, what is Hickens' current role? You know, what is his current role as we speak in the Ghana Police Force? So you're coming to appoint him twice to commissioner of police, you know. It's mind-boggling. But again, they don't have a penchant for meaningful consultation, right? And I'm going here beyond just what is constitutionally required with the leader of the opposition. If they had a penchant for meaningful consultation, it wouldn't take the murder of Quindon Bacchus, you know, to carry them in Buxton yesterday.
Exactly.
Right? That would be part of the natural developmental focus. Right? It wouldn't take protests and all of that, trying to counter that protest in Buxton yesterday to carry them. And again, as Drew articulated, you can see the intention. A tractor, right? Because that's all you're good for.
Yeah, a lawnmower.
Right?
For
and a lawnmower.
It just was a lawnmower.
And a basketball ring.
The hoop.
Right?
My goodness.
But real meaningful, you know, development
the
initiatives.
$250,000 grant for small businesses. I listen to me. When it comes to development and you're going into areas, carry those things. Those things are meaningful to people. Things that will empower them to better their lives.
Put money in people's hands.
Don't tell me that you're going to give some basketball. Come on, man. 9 ministers. Come on.
To give a basketball hoop.
Right? Listen,
and a lawnmower.
When people and people need to wake up and see what is actually beneficial to them. Wake up and see it. The amount of small businesses in Buxton, the Buxton Friendship area, the amount of small businesses there, that they can use that. They can use it upliftment. I know there's one particular young lady, I think that she does wine.
Yeah.
Right?
Correct.
Absolutely brilliant.
Correct.
Young people trying to be innovative and all of things. Where is the support that you're giving to them?
Yeah.
You know, unless you are uplifting people in that manner, supporting them financially when it comes to basically upping their game, you know, and their competitiveness for their small businesses altogether, then don't talk to me about it. I always say that. You can't be going to certain areas and making that platform available. When it comes to those people that you want to profess that you care about, suddenly you don't know how that works and how to go in there and how to distribute those resources. Them unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable.
Yeah. And I think Indrani Lekram says it best. Play all day. You know, why not go and play some basketball? Develop the wine business? No. Go and shoot hoops. Right?
But that
it's disrespectful. That's what it is.
I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna look at that particular one because I was given to the Buxton Community Center ground. right? And I'm gonna look at that particular ground. I don't have the information at hand, but what I can tell you is that it's the very same Charles Ramson that did that. Charles Ramson was giving out a $10 million per ground, and I have to check and see if that $10 million was given to the Boxing Community Center ground for their upliftment and all of those things. I have to check and see if $10 million was given to the Boxing Community Center ground. I will check that.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
resources have been dispersed throughout the length and the breadth of this country in areas that they so choose to disperse those resources to. And they have to be held accountable for the way in which they're doing it, the biased manner in which it is being done. The level of inequity that they're doing things with, it's crazy. It's not acceptable.
Unacceptable. Guys, these are the issues we're following.
I
These
would
are
get
issues
so
we're following.
upset if I keep going down this
And-
line.
And we're going to be drilling down some more in this in our podcast at 12 today. So we hope you guys join us. That's all we have for you at this hour. We're going to be discussing some other things with you at 12 and then in the ring tonight. As we battle the flu and everything else.
We got to keep questioning whether or not we're well or not.
we battle flu and the old throat, and so,
Yeah, very much so.
It is what it is. Thanks for some recommendations what I should be taking. Thanks for that. Thanks for that.
As crazy as this
Yep.
is what it is.
Yep. Good to have you guys. I see Chisel Chipper and Courtney Gordon, Gribben, Sharon Belgrave, Forrest, and Patricia Wren Cheeseman, Edward Gonzalez, of course, from the Bronx.
Yes, we know
Marilyn
Edward.
Ford and
How do you
Gail
call any names this morning? I don't think
Escott.
so.
Huh?
I can't remember if I went through the deal.
You did.
This morning.
Elena Sancho, good to see you.
Gail, hey Gail, how are you doing? And Marlon Ford.
Yeah.
Marlon says you're sounding better, so that's good. Facebook
Yeah.
users watching from Linden, the folks in Linden, always in the house. Always lovely to have you here with us. Commissioner Cole, always a pleasure to have
Commissioner
you here.
Cole, respect and manners.
Joyce Van Kooten says,
Good to
this
see you,
box
Joyce.
said a proper farm to market road.
Ah.
Well, those empowerment things are not things
Yeah,
that they really
yeah,
want to talk
yeah.
about when they go to
Give
those
them lands and
areas,
so on to farm.
Yep. Let's see the actual real benefits.
Bellamona, we see you there. Sandra Davis, Lena Jacobs, Rosamond, Yvonne Bissessar. Good to have each and every one of you guys. We're going to see you guys back at 12. Remember to smash that emoji button. Share the live. Partner with us. Please and thank you. We got Zelle, PayPal, Cash App, MMG, Western Union, MoneyGram. You name it. Partner with us. Not a month ahead of us. More responsibilities. Partner with us. Pace and power, folks.
Pace and power. Have a great day, guys, and join us this midday at 12.
Yeah, I like that. Join us. Join us.
and then this evening at 8 p.m. in the ring.
That's my time.
You know where it is. Have a good day, guys.
That's my program.